General Boykin is here, not to be confused with the new nickname for General Petraeus, General Boykin, which is different than General Boykin, who is a respectable and honorable man and deserves much more of a much more honorable setup than what I just gave him. Mm-hmm. General, how are you, sir?
I'm well, Glenn. It's good to be with you.
Good. You don't sound like you're in a happy mood.
Well, there's a lot going on right now, and I share a deep concern for Israel, Glenn, and I think that what's most disturbing is really the lack of support, I think, from our administration and frankly from many Americans that just do not understand what it's like to live in a place where at any moment, a missile or a rocket could hit your home. Americans just don't understand the environment.
They don't understand also because the media has let them down. They somehow or another have forgotten who we're dealing with. This is Hamas that is doing it and the Muslim Brotherhood. This isn't even a close call. And yet so many Americans think it is. How'd that happen, General?
Well, first of all, the American media has been so supportive of the, quote, Palestinian cause. And let me just say as a data point, Jews were Palestinians at one time. So this whole thing is a bit contrived in terms of, the plight of the Palestinians. That said, the U.S. media has been so sympathetic to the Palestinian cause that they failed to highlight the real pressure and the real dangers and the real situation there where Israelis provide greater freedom to the Muslims that live in the democracy that is there in Israel. They have greater freedom there than any other Muslim area in the world.
I'll tell you, General, when we were over there, they would never say it on camera, but we would talk to the Arabs that lived in Israel, and they would all say they don't want Muslim rule because it will mean hell for their family and poverty for their family. I'd ask them, will you go on record with that? No, because they're afraid.
They are afraid, and remember, Hamas is a creation of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they have a single objective, and that is to destroy Israel. Now, you're absolutely right. And every Arab that I talk to that lives in Israel is very supportive of the government of Israel because they do see that the future for them would be just as miserable as it is right now for Muslims living in Islamic republics around the Middle East there.
So what do you think is coming? What does Israel have to do, and what does it mean to us? What's going to happen?
Well, I think we'll see a ground war, Glenn. I think that as difficult as that is for the Israelis, the Israeli public doesn't want it because it's their sons and daughters. But in the end, I think that probably Netanyahu does want to do a ground war, and the reason is very simple, and that is because with the thousands of rockets and missiles that have been stored in Hamas's territory there in the Gaza Strip, if they could reduce that threat, it makes the strike against the Iranian nuclear program much less problematic because Iran would respond with missiles and rockets out of South Lebanon as well as out of the Gaza Strip. If they take that away as a threat, any future strike would be less problematic for the Israelis.
They shouldn't give up the ground that they gain if they do a ground war, because I have a feeling they'll gain a lot of ground as they usually do. And they always give it back. They shouldn't give it back this time. They shouldn't.
No, Glenn, there's never, first of all, if you take that a step further and you talk about this whole concept of a two-state solution and trading land for peace, there is no history that has ever succeeded. It has always resulted in greater danger to Israel. So if they go in there, I think there will be an occupation there for quite some time. And I use that term somewhat reluctantly because at the end of the day, it's really still all Israeli land. It was covenant land that was provided to the Israelis. There needs to be some focus on supporting the Palestinians, supporting those people in their humanitarian needs.
But Israel does. Israel
Well,
does. The rest
right.
of the rest of the Arab world, with Jordan as a for instance, they keep them in concentration camps. They keep them in. They won't let them become citizens. Nothing. Israel does. I mean, they're the biggest, brightest hope.
Well, remember, it was the king of Jordan that killed thousands of Palestinians, which is where the Black September group came from back in 1970. So the rest of the world, as they build the world's tallest building, over in the Gulf, why isn't some of that money going to the needs of the Palestinians? And that is because none of the rest of the Middle East cares about those people.
None of them.
Israel actually cares more about them and does more for them than the rest of the Middle East.
Yeah. Let me just give you, the TV tower that was knocked down by Israel. The reason why they took that off is these are just some of the things that they have been saying. A message addressed to the Israeli soldiers from the Al-Qassam brigades to the Zionist soldiers. The Al-Aqsam brigades love death more than you love life. The price will be high, sons of Zion. Are you willing to pay the price? O occupier, we are coming towards you. Leave our land. All of Palestine is ours. There is nothing here for you but death. There is nothing here for you but to be killed and to leave. The price will be high. Whether you come by land, sea, or air, you will be crushed. If your arms reach us, they will be cut off. If your eyes look at us, they will be gouged out. If your defeated army attacks again, it will not return alive. We came after you as fear. We return far worse for you. In the land that you came to alive, you will end as body parts. That is Allah's promise. I mean, these guys they're not screwing around, and there is no negotiated peace. They're clearly stating, death to the Jew, get out, no land for you, period. And it's foolishness to believe there's anything else. It's the same mistake, General, if I'm not mistaken, that the world made with the Jews in World War II.
Well, clearly there's no place for the Jews to go. I mean, with the rest of the world certainly does not want them. And I think that, first of all, I think that a lot of that is rhetoric for their own people. But secondly, I think it also demonstrates very clearly that there is no negotiated settlement to this. This is going to be the situation for as long as the Palestinians and Israelis live in proximity. There is no negotiated solution to this.
All right, General. Thank you very much. Wait, one more quick question. What did you think of Petraeus on Friday? What do you make of what just happened?
Well, I think he told the truth. I think he made it very clear that he knew it was a terrorist attack. He put that in the memo, and it was removed. The question now is, who removed it? And that answer is forthcoming. I think.
Tell me how significant that is. Does that happen?
Well, I think that, first of all, I think when the president castigated everyone for criticizing Susan Rice, he worked himself into a corner because he said she was sent by the White House with intelligence that she was given. Well, what that said to me, and I think to many Americans, was this was an orchestrated campaign to cover up the facts of what occurred there. We sent someone who didn't know anything and was not involved, and he even said that. Not involved. We sent her to be the talking head for the events in Benghazi, and we gave her false information. I think that's the way you should interpret that.
General, we'll talk again, my friend. Thank you so much. God bless.
Okay, Glenn.
Bye-bye.
Bless you.
All right.